In January 2024, 34-year-old Tameisha Price, who was 8 months pregnant, was tragically shot and killed in her home in South Toledo, Ohio. Authorities have charged her boyfriend, 35-year-old Paris James, with 2 counts of premeditated aggravated murder for the deaths of Tameisha and her unborn daughter, Tameisha Price. According to reports, James allegedly planned the murder because Tameisha refused to abort their baby girl at 38 weeks. 2 other individuals, Jerry Scott and Shatwia Triplet, have also been charged in connection with the case.
Three suspects have been indicted in the fatal shooting of a pregnant woman. They are accused in the January killing of 34-year-old Tameisha Price. Take a look. According to court documents, a grand jury indicted Paris James and Jerry Scott on several counts of aggravated murder and felonious assault, among other charges. Shatwia Triplet was also indicted on 2 third-degree felony counts of obstructing justice. All 3 suspects are accused of involvement in the homicide of Price, whose unborn child was also in the shooting. According to court documents, detectives say Scott did participate in the planning and execution of the plan that resulted in Price's death. Those documents also indicate that Triplet, who detectives said is James's live-in girlfriend, provided an alibi for James that was later proven to be false.
Maybe she was sitting in bed, rubbing her belly, whispering prayers over her unborn child. Maybe she was texting a friend about baby names or sorting through the tiny pink onesies she had carefully folded and placed in a drawer. Or maybe she was anxious. Maybe she felt the weight of something looming over her, the feeling that danger was closer than she could see. Then, the silence shattered. A gunshot rang out. Then another. The moment was swift, violent, and final. By the time first responders arrived at the scene, it was too late. Tameisha was gone. So was baby Malaysia, a mother and daughter, their futures stolen in an instant. Before we go on, don't forget to like, subscribe and turn on notifications for more true crime updates. Tameisha Price was born on May 22, 1989, in Toledo, Ohio. She was raised in a loving and faith-filled home, where kindness and resilience were not just values but a way of life. Those who knew her say she had a light about her, a presence that made people feel safe, loved, and supported. Growing up, Tameisha was known for her warm and giving nature. Whether it was offering a helping hand to a friend in need or volunteering at community events, she always put others before herself. From a young age, she showed an ability to uplift people, whether through a joke, a song, or a simple word of encouragement. Her family describes her as someone who could walk into a room and change the energy instantly. She had an infectious laugh, a deep love for music, and a passion for helping others. Her faith was the foundation of her life, and she was deeply involved in her church community. She participated in choir, youth ministries, and countless outreach programs. Growing up in Toledo, Tameisha experienced both the beauty and the struggles of her city. While the community was tight-knit, it also had its share of challenges. But she never let hardship dim her spirit. She believed in second chances, in redemption, and in the power of love. Tameisha's greatest joy in life was her children. She was a devoted mother to 2 boys, and from the moment they were born, her world revolved around them. Raising 2 children as a single mother wasn't easy, but Tameisha never complained. She worked tirelessly to provide for them, often taking on extra shifts and sacrificing her own needs to ensure they had everything they needed. She made birthdays special, filled their home with laughter, and taught them the values of faith, kindness, and perseverance. Her friends recall how she always put her boys first. She was the definition of a mother, one close friend shared. Everything she did was for them. She wanted to make sure they had a better life, that they never felt unloved. Despite the challenges of single parenthood, she never let it steal her joy. She was determined to give her children a beautiful childhood filled with love, laughter, and faith. In late 2023, Tameisha's heart was filled with even more joy. She was expecting a baby girl for Paris James, who she named Tameisha Price. She had always dreamed of having a daughter, and this pregnancy felt like a blessing. She imagined all the little moments they would share, dressing her in cute outfits, singing lullabies, and teaching her the same values she had instilled in her sons. Tameisha spoke often about Malaysia, excitedly planning for her arrival. She had already picked out baby clothes, decorated a nursery, and dreamed about the future. She was glowing, a friend recalled. You could see how much she loved that baby before she was even born. But behind her bright smile, there were shadows. Tameisha met Paris James several years before her pregnancy, and at first, things seemed normal. He was charming, attentive, and knew how to say the right things. But as time went on, the cracks in his facade began to show. At 35 years old, Paris had a past that wasn't well known. Some say he had a history of controlling behavior in previous relationships. Others claim he had run-ins with the law. While his full background remains unclear, what became evident was that his relationship with Tameisha was far from healthy. Those close to her noticed the changes. She became more withdrawn, less vibrant. There were moments where she seemed anxious, on edge, as if she were constantly walking on eggshells. Domestic violence isn't always obvious at first. It often starts subtly with small criticisms, possessiveness, and control disguised as concern. At first, Paris would call her constantly, checking in on where she was and who she was with. Then, he started isolating her from friends and family. Little by little, he gained control over her life. As the relationship progressed, so did Paris's control over Tameisha. He didn't like when she spent time with certain people. He would question her about where she had been, what she had done. If she didn't answer his calls fast enough, there would be consequences. It wasn't just emotional control, it was financial as well. He made it difficult for her to make independent decisions, trying to ensure she relied on him. People around Tameisha suspected things weren't right, but like many women in abusive relationships, she didn't always speak openly about it. Whether it was fear, shame, or a belief that things might get better, she stayed. But then, something changed. At some point, Tameisha decided she had enough. She wanted out. Some say it was the pregnancy that gave her the final push. Others say she had already been making plans to leave before that. What's clear is that she was trying to move forward, trying to build a better life for herself and her children. But Paris wasn't ready to let her go. And in many abusive relationships, the most dangerous time is when the victim tries to leave. It was an ordinary night, or so it seemed. Maybe Tameisha was preparing for bed, thinking about baby Malaysia. Maybe she was texting a friend, talking about her future. What she didn't know was that someone was coming for her. A gunshot shattered the silence. When police arrived, they found her lifeless, her unborn daughter, gone. Law enforcement quickly focused on Paris James. The evidence pointed directly to him. But he wasn't alone. Investigators uncovered two accomplices. Jerry Scott was an associate of Paris James, and according to prosecutors, he played a role in orchestrating the murder. His exact involvement remains under investigation, but sources suggest he either helped set up the attack or provided key assistance before or after the crime. Then there was Shatwia Triplet. Shatwia wasn't at the crime scene, but her role was just as significant. She allegedly helped Paris James cover his tracks by providing a false alibi. In the aftermath of the murder, she told investigators a story meant to clear Paris's name. But the truth has a way of revealing itself. And soon, all three suspects, Paris James, Jerry Scott, and Shatwia Triplet, were arrested and charged. As news of Tameisha's murder spread, the community was overwhelmed with grief and outrage. A woman known for her kindness, her faith, her love for her children gone. Her sons, now without a mother, her unborn daughter, never given the chance to take her first breath. Tameisha's greatest pride was her children. Now, her two sons ages 10 and 13 were left without the most important person in their lives. The trauma of losing a parent in such a violent way is unimaginable. Experts say children who experience the sudden loss of a mother, especially due to domestic violence, face increased risks of depression, PTSD, and long-term emotional struggles. Family members stepped up immediately, making sure the boys were surrounded by love and stability. But no amount of support could erase the pain of their loss. How do you explain to a child that their mother was taken from them? One family member asked that someone who was supposed to love her hurt her instead. Tameisha's murder sent shockwaves beyond her family. The entire city of Toledo grieved. Candlelight vigils were held in her honor. People gathered to pray, to cry, to demand justice. At one vigil, attendees released pink and white balloons into the sky, one for Tameisha, one for baby Malaysia. "She should be here," one speaker said. "She should be holding her baby, watching her sons grow up. She didn't deserve this. No woman does. Rest in peace, Tameisha and baby Malaysia." This is why we need to do more about domestic violence. It's not just arguments, it's life or death. I can't believe she's gone. I just talked to her. She was so excited for her baby girl. We can't let this happen to another woman. The loss of Tameisha Price became more than just another tragic headline. It became a rallying cry. At her church, members wept openly during Sunday service. People shared stories of her warmth, her unwavering belief in God, her dreams for her children. At Tameisha's home church, pastors spoke about her unwavering faith. She had spent years serving others, spreading love, and helping those in need. Now, it was the church's turn to honor her. During Sunday service, a tribute video was played, a collection of memories showing Tameisha singing in the choir, laughing with friends, and embracing her children. There wasn't a dry eye in the congregation. Her church family vowed to do more to support domestic violence survivors, to raise awareness, to ensure that Tameisha's story led to change. As news outlets picked up the story, Tameisha's murder became more than just a local tragedy. It became part of the national conversation on domestic violence and femicide. Her name was added to the long list of women who had been murdered by current or former partners, according to the National Coalition Against Domestic Violence in CADV. 1 in 4 women will experience domestic violence in their lifetime. Every day, 3 women in the U.S. are killed by a current or former partner. In cases involving a pregnant woman, the risk of homicide increases significantly. Tameisha's murder highlighted the grim reality. Leaving an abusive relationship is the most dangerous time for a woman. Her story resonated with domestic violence survivors across the country. Women who had once been in similar situations spoke out, sharing their own near-death experiences. "I was almost Tameisha," one woman posted. "I barely made it out alive. This has to stop." Organizations dedicated to helping survivors used her case as a wake-up call. More resources were shared. More conversations were started. More calls for justice were made. But no amount of awareness could bring Tameisha and Malaysia back. Paris James was charged with 2 counts of premeditated aggravated murder. If convicted, he could face life in prison without parole. Jerry Scott faced conspiracy to commit murder. Shatwi, a triplet, was charged with obstruction of justice. At their first court appearances, they showed no emotion. They pled not guilty. Prosecutors vowed to seek the maximum penalty. This was a calculated, cold-blooded murder, they said. Tameisha Price and her unborn daughter deserve justice. The case has not been closed at the time of recording this video. Would justice be served, or would another woman's story fade into the statistics? Tameisha Jakira Price's funeral was done on February 3, 2024. Her son, who is a drummer, gave her a touching tribute with his drumming skills. Don't forget to hit the notification bell to stay updated on our latest content. Your engagement not only supports our work, but also fosters a community of informed and thoughtful true crime enthusiasts. We encourage you to share your insights, theories, and reflections in the comments below. Your perspective adds valuable depth to these discussions. Thank you for watching, and we look forward to exploring more cases with you in future episodes.